Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV. You are now tuned to BS3 Network. BS3 Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts. BS3 Network is now on Roku TV under BS3 TV. Download today.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Thanks, everybody. What's up?
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
All right, everybody. Peace. Welcome to Information Man Show.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
All right, everybody. Thank you. This is a premiere video. I'm not live today due to other obligations that I have, but I hope that this finds you very well. I hope you're having a great weekend with your family, your loved ones. I wish everyone well out there. This is a very important video. I'm bringing this up because, of course, we've been on this, the whole DL, Hughley, and Monique is continuing to have more legs, and it continues to have more life and grow exponentially. I mentioned in my last video where I was featuring DL and his response back to Monique in terms of talking about his daughters, his family, and how she should keep her mouth off of the family and just keep it on him. Don't bring families into this situation. And I mentioned and I stated in my last video, from a clinician's point of view, a psychological point of view, that it is pretty obvious that Monique is suffering from trauma, from things that have happened to her in her childhood, to relationships she's had with men, because a lot of the people that she is striking out at, of course, have been men. However, she has talked about Oprah Winfrey, who at one point in time she had a pretty good relationship with, and she didn't like the idea of Oprah asking her very sensitive questions about her family background and such. Okay. And today on this pre-produced video, I'm going to talk about a very sensitive area, and I understand a lot better now why she does not like Oprah, and she's been calling her out before. This whole thing with her and DL continues to go back and forth. As DL has made his statements, she makes statements back. Monique and her husband, they continue to double down on their perspective, where they're coming from. We can make all sorts of inferences and make our opinions about whether her husband has impacted her career negatively, or has he been a blessing to her. Obviously, DL has already told us in his radio show, and he's put it out there on social media like his Instagram, that he made an occupational mistake working with Monique because of the experiences he has had with her in the past, or what he has heard from other people that say you should not work with her. We know that she has rebuilt her relationship with Mr. Lee Daniels. They've had a fallout at one point in time, but that has changed now. They have buried the hatchet, so to speak. We also know that there has been some issues between her and Tyler Perry in the past, where he has tried to have her back, but then things have gone wrong down there. I'm not sure whether that relationship has been repaired or if it can be repaired. The same goes for Oprah Winfrey, and many of those that she has called out, whether it be a Steve Harvey, who she has called a coon. She said that on the stage in Detroit at the Fox Theater, that, we got these coons, and she really ratcheted down with all these things. Now, when she was on the stage, as you already know, she said that it was about the contract, the mother effing contract. But now we hear Monique saying that it really ain't about the contract, but it's about the character of the man, D.L. Hughley, that D.L. had made some mention about her husband, or it was a show in which there were questions asked about would you rather sleep with this person. It was a sexual nature, and I don't want to repeat that here. However, we find out that DL never aired that section, and that he was he was reverent to her feelings, never aired it and never went there. And she at that particular time participated in it. Of course, she talks about Oprah asking her sensitive questions. However, when you are in entertainment, you know that these networks, whether it's Oprah or anyone, is going to ask you questions because they want to drive their ratings up. You could have easily had your manager, i.e. your husband, Sydney, make it very clear to any network that wants to interview you, Monique, that they cannot ask you certain questions, and that if they were to be asked, you would not answer. So a lot of times there are some things that are in your control in terms of what comes out of your mouth, even if people ask you questions. Right now, in my analysis that I talked about a week ago, I believe she is suffering from heavy trauma from what has happened to her as a woman. And we know in our society that women do suffer abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, the whole 9 yards in our society. We also know, and I'm not going to deny that sexism does exist, as well as racism and how black women are treated in Hollywood and in entertainment in the world. So women are dealing with a dual situation of the sexism and the racial component that I believe Monique has dealt with and has been dealing with, and I do believe it is a true component. And as I said, and I'm going to summarize here, as I said in my last video a week ago, Monique felt that she had gotten incredible validation, okay, to the tune of what I would call vibrating validation. Vibrating validation. What does that mean? She won the Oscar for the movie Precious. A lot of acclaim was put on her. And in her mind, hey, I've arrived and I should be treated like anyone else who is an Oscar award winning artist. In this case, she won an Oscar. Although I don't feel the role that she won it for was the best. We seem to always see black people winning Oscars for playing some particular ratchet character. And then we heard D.L. Hughley say that she is the mother in the movie Precious. That is, she is precious and personified is what he said. Boom. And so the back and forth has been continuing between them. But I think out of that frustration for Monique not getting the recognition that she felt that she deserved, that she had earned through her hard work of 30 years in the business, I feel at the end of the day, Monique felt disrespected, unappreciated, and also I believe some of her lashing out, as I had spoke of a week ago, comes out of the fact that in some ways she didn't feel that black Hollywood had her back, that she went it alone, and that she didn't appreciate people like Steve Harvey telling her that she had to learn to play the game. And maybe this is because a lot of black women feel that they're always told that they got to shut up and just play the game. There are probably black women and women in general who feel this in Hollywood. So there's a lot of frustration here, a lot of anger here. And when a person is anger is nothing but depression turned against others or turned against yourself. So when you are depressed as a mental health therapist, you will turn that depression into anger and you will project it onto other people. It could be family members, people that you love, people that are just acquaintances. You can lash out. And I do believe that her frustration being in Hollywood as a black woman, especially a more darker skinned black woman, has its impact on you in Hollywood in terms of who they usually cast in movies and how they want certain women to look when they are a woman that is black. And I think she has felt the brunt of all of that. it does not make it right for her to get on the stage and call DL Hughley out in the way that she did, venting frustration that happened from the past. It would have been more professional, more or less emotional if they could have had an honest conversation. As we know that Monique asked to come on to DL Hughley's radio show, and DL has said, hell no. He will never let her come on there because he sees her as a monster, a shit disturber. He will never, 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 never. He said that him and his family are good. One of the things that she did in her shaming techniques, and this is something that I have to be honest that women do engage in when they're not happy and they're frustrated with, particularly in this case, a man. Obviously, men are built a little bit more physically stronger than women. So what women have is a stronger verbal skill in which they can cut us hard with their words. And I think that's where she took it from it being professional to it being about a personal vendetta that has probably been going on for a while because she has not appreciated things that DL has said in the past, either on his radio show or when she was trying to negotiate the Netflix deal. I think this plays into some of the areas of Monique's anger, which turns into depression, which can turn into lashing out at other people. I'm not saying that DL is right for making any statements about her in the past. And I don't think Monique is necessarily right for making statements in terms of going after his family. And if DL Hughley has said anything about her family, he is wrong as well. What we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is we have two black people who really are hurting themselves by fighting one another over the pecking order of who is the closer and who isn't. And obviously that's important to people's ego because if you're the closer, you make a little bit more money. I do find it interesting that on most of the posters for that particular comedy show, that DL Hughley was enlarged on the poster where Monique was not enlarged on the posters. So it makes me also wonder if she really was the closer, why didn't the promoters make her the larger figure on the promotional posters for the comedy explosion? That's just a question I have. You know, they can do whatever they want with their marketing, but it just makes me wonder. Okay. Monique has had a lot of psychological problems leading back to her childhood. And I'm going to get into that. And I think this plays into her anger, her lashing out, particularly when it comes to black men that she has lashed out towards. But she has also lashed out towards black women. And these are one of the things in some of our communities that we struggle with, where we'll lash out on each other because deep down in the psychosis of some black people in America, in some ways, we kind of hate ourselves internally. And when you hate yourself internally, you will turn that internal hatred on those that look like you. Now, right here this is her sister, Millicent. This is her sister who's in the middle, who has now interjected her opinions into this situation. She put a post out on Facebook talking about her sister and how she feels her sister is disrespecting her real biological family in the way that she's been going about lashing out at DL and just in general. And you can agree or disagree with this, but let me put this on the screen and I'm going to show you the article. This comes from Facebook, but this has also been posted in different articles so far. So right here, this is our sister, Millicent. And I'm going to read this and move this around to kind of focus it in a little bit more. But right here, this is a post that she put in Facebook about her sister. This is Monique. So it is obvious to me that Monique has a lot of issues going back to her family, to her relationship with her brother, Gerald, who I'm going to bring up, which I think is the big part of the reality of Monique's emotional problems and her trauma that can play itself into how she sees herself within the entertainment world and how she sees people treating her. So her sister, Millicent, wrote this. Enough is enough, my sister. Stop the madness. It is a good look. It is not a good look. God has shut you down before, and believe me, he will do it again. Let's start by staying on topic. You are and have been displaying your anger on the wrong people. This is her sister, Millicent, talking about her sister, Monique. Okay, this is interesting. Why don't you start, sister, with you? Dealing with you. Now, this is very interesting because Monique has a lot of trauma, and we're going to bring this up today. Why don't you start by starting with you? And that begins with one digging deep into praying. We know that Black people are emotional, so we always run to the idea of prayer to heal ourselves. When we pray and God hears us and we give it back to us, it should say something to you, but you choose to listen to the devil. This is her sister saying this about Monique, who was once a falling angel. Take heed and clean your house up before it's dirty. Now, we hear this a lot. Clean up your house first. Make sure your house is in order before you start talking about others. The sister goes on to say, you're coming with the same story over and over again. Now, keep this in mind. This is her sister. Who better to know you than the person that you grew up with? Now, we don't know if her sister, Millicent, is doing this because she's clout chasing. She's trying to grab the bag. She's trying to get the media attention over to her. We don't know. But we do know that family members know each other better than anybody. We know each other's secrets, our dirt, and all of that, okay? So she says, this is why this is key here. Take heed and clean your house up because it's dirty. Sister, you're coming with the same story over and over again. We have heard Monique repeat things over and over again, and this let everybody know out there. This is not to minimize the fact that Monique is dealing with sexism and racism and being undervalued and marginalized in Hollywood because women do get paid less money. And what I found out from talking to brother Carl Yard and brother Kevin Lee, who are comedians, is that they said that Black comedians compared to their whiter counterparts, as I said a week ago, get paid less money in comparison. Okay. She goes on to say, you're saying the same things over and over again. If not change, nothing changes. If you do not change yourself, then nothing changes. I got to be honest. Her sister is speaking truth here. Your career has been dead in the past, and now it's about to come to a life. And now you are killing it again. So she's saying you killed your career in the past with the things that you've said and you've done and lashing out at people. You're now starting to reboot it, but now it's about to go back in the dumps again. This is what the sister is saying. You're killing it again, and now the plug is about to be pulled on you, and you are about to be canceled. Again, this time, it's a flat line. I just can't take no more text messages or phone calls at one time. The stage in the world, this is very revealing, was your oyster, my sister. What you're doing now is offensive to his family, talking about DL's family, our parents, and your siblings, but all of a sudden it is about you having to be the right person, to be right. Good, bad, and indifferent now. You are wrong as two left shoes. Obviously, meddling to see you embarrass yourself like this, which at this time, it's a reflection on the family. She's saying their family, your true biological family, not your made up family or your wife. Now, what does she mean by that? Is Monique's sister alleging that Monique has a lesbian relationship? Now that might be getting thrown around, and I'm going to say alleged. I'm not going to say that she's gay, lesbian, and whatever her sexual preference is her business. It does not matter to me. But why would the sister say this statement right here? This is very glaring. All right, I'm going to read this little part again. She says here, it's a bad reflection on your family, your true biological family, not your made up family or your wife, but your siblings are your parents. May they rest in peace. Why would she say her wife? Because obviously, if you're a heterosexual person, you would have said that your husband. But she's saying that Monique has a made up current family. We know that she's married to Signe. Is she married to this man or is she not married to this man? Is her sister revealing something that we may not know that she knows? Once again, is she clout chasing? Is she just a disgruntled family member who's mad because Monique hasn't given her any money and set her up, right? Because we know that there's disgruntled family members who will come out and talk about you like a dog because maybe you're not giving them money, you're not setting them up because they've been nothing but a irresponsible person most of their life. We don't know that. I'm just putting it out there because anything's possible. But she's really laying out some things that's interesting here because she has said very glaringly here that her life is made up in terms of her family versus her real family. She says something about a wife. But your siblings and our parents, may they rest in peace, are turning over in heaven on your earthly behavior, although you did not show up to your father or your mother's funeral service. Wait a minute. Now, see, once again, the river runs deep, folks, here. I said that Monique has trauma issues, but it runs deep. The question is her sister telling the truth, or is this just made up lies? You be the guest of this. You leave comments in the comment section if you believe that this could be facts. And I'm going to say it again. Family knows you better than anybody else. And a lot of times we don't know these celebrities. We only know what we see on television, screen, and on the stage. Okay, but could it be true and could it be lies? This is all alleged, but the sister put this out on Facebook. Okay, I'm sure they forgive you because they know who their child used to be. Wow, meaning Monique. I see you are making statements about other people's children, so where are yours? Again, clean your house up and you'll be set free. I have received as your old bodyguard. I have receipts as your old bodyguard used to say, let's play nice. As you say, this is all coming from a place of love. Sister, stop. Your biological sister, Millicent, love you to life and will be here for you always. This is her sister, but this is the one that's very glaring. She says here, her sister Millicent, I see you are making statements about other people's children, so where are yours? This is key, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I mentioned this just a week ago on the show just a week ago when I went live last week, that she does not have a good relationship with the son. The son is another male figure. And the son has been estranged from Monique. And the sister is saying you need to prepare your relationship with your son before you start talking about someone's family like D.L. Hughley. And I think that's true. I think it is very interesting that she speaks like this because I talked about trauma and how trauma can affect you. If you haven't gotten proper help for these things that have happened to you in the past, it can come back to hunt you in the future. And also it can display itself in your behavior and the way you talk about other people. Her sister said that she keeps repeating the same narratives over and over again. And I know as a therapist that when you keep repeating things and you're not getting help, you're going to keep reliving the horrors of the past over and over again as if it's happening right now. Monique, I'm not going to tell her what to do, but this is why it is important to engage and get with and get a clinical psychologist or psychiatrist that you can get help from and get therapy, someone that can kind of like work you through these problems with proper closure. I don't know, folks. Let me know what you think in the chat room. If you're watching this in this pre-produced video, this premiere, let me know what you think, what your opinions are from what I've said so far, because now I have to bring up this. This is a very sad situation. And let me bring this up too. This is an article. I wanted to put this on the screen and let you know this, this has been in the media, these statements right here. And you see right here, warning, her sister, Millicent, warns the Oscar winner that her attack at DL will only bring down and disgrace her family. Millicent also exposed her sister for allegedly not attending the parents' funeral. So the question is, I'm not going to pretend to think I know that, but why did she not attend both her father's funeral and her mother's funeral? You know, you can make a lot of inference here. Is it because the father and mother were not there for her when the brother has now come out and admitted that he molested her for years when she was young, for many, many years? And I'm going to talk about that. But this is the article from A Showbiz. Monique has received some kind of, instead of support from her family and admirers, her feud with D.L. Hughley having dissed the former Hughley star on Instagram. The actress has been slammed by her sister, Millicent, for focusing on the bad rather than channeling her energy on something more positive. And I got to admit, this is a good point by the sister. As I stroll down on this here, I have to admit that it is a very good point. And I'm going to move over to this right here, come back right there like so. I hope you all are enjoying, or all are getting something out of this particular premiere video today, pre-produced video. Sorry I could not be live, but I hope you're getting something out of this right now, wherever you are in the world. And if you are a new subscriber to the channel, I want to say thank you for being a new subscriber and supporting what we're doing over here on the Information Man Show. Definitely check out the channel. Look at more of my videos. If you want more videos like this, you know what to do. You can definitely subscribe to the show. And let me put this up here like so, and go ahead and be a part of what we got going on over here. Subscribe to the show, hit the bell notification, make a comment in the comment section. Let me know if you like the video or not, what your opinions are. Share the video on all your social media. If you're a content creator, share this video in your community tab as well as your social media as well. I want to thank everybody again, all the new subscribers to the show. I appreciate you.
Tell the truth.
I can't do what I do without your support and the fact that people are really help you as the audience. You are the ones responsible for building this channel going forward. Okay. Now, I'm going to say this too. The YouTube streets can be unforgiving. They can be tough. But I think the YouTube streets can also be fulfilling when you stand on the level of truth. Okay. So I appreciate you all again. I got to clap again. Okay. Now, I really wonder what was going on in the family between the mother and the father. Did Monique not feel loved? And I'm just asking these very honest questions. I'm not trying to clown or make her look bad. I'm just saying, I just wonder, because this can happen to people when you grow up in a family and you don't feel loved, you don't feel cared for, and this can happen from both the father and the mother not treating you with love and respect. So we don't know exactly what could it have been that kept her from the funeral. Was it because she was on tour? She was on the road. She was in the midst of filming or in a production of a movie. We don't know the nuances that could have impacted her from being there for her family members, her mother and father who passed away. That's a pretty telling sign that she was not there. It's a very, very telling sign. But her sister, who has had no problem with coming out with this type of statement, once again, I'm going to say this. Is it for clout? Is she a disgruntled family member, or is she just being genuine and honest? Because this is the first time we've heard from her like this. So it just makes me wonder what's going on. Just trying to be fair here with my assessment. Once again, potentially could Monique have an issue, and could she be lashing out, and could who she lashes out at not really be what the issues are? Could her not getting the contract that she wanted from Netflix, not getting the respect that she wanted from Hollywood or even black people in Hollywood, or the respect that Tyler Perry and Steve Harvey and Dale Hughley and many other those within the comedy world and entertainment world, could her real problems not really be the profession that she's in and the people around that profession? Could her problems really be stemmed all the way back to her childhood with her own family? I must tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Could it really be about what her sister said? Could it really be what her brother did to her so many years ago? This is a damn shame. Her brother molested her, and I'm going to play an audio for you that I think needs to be heard. It is important to be heard. And this is from a celebrity news site. This is going to be audio. This is what her brother did to her. And I feel bad about this because no one should go into this kind of scrutiny. Her brother, Gerald, the brother of the Oscar-winning actress Monique, admitted to Oprah Winfrey. He went on the Oprah Winfrey show to talk about this. And maybe, just maybe, Monique never appreciated Oprah for allowing her brother to come on there and put her personal information out there. This could be the catapult for why Monique went hard at Oprah. And could it be? Because the brother went on Oprah Winfrey's channel on a Monday, this is many years ago, that he repeatedly molested his little sister starting when she was only 7 years old. Monique, who won the Best Supporting Actress Academy Award for Precious based on the novel Push, has spoken publicly about the abuse at the hands of Gerald, saying she channeled that monster when she played the brutal mother in the film Precious. I'm sorry, Monique, I'm sorry, her brother Gerald said to her. I am sorry. I betrayed everybody's trust. I broke that trust. I broke that bond. Monique declined to be involved in Gerald's life, and she declined to be involved in the interview or to respond to his apology. Maybe that is the reason why she has something or some feelings about Oprah. Gerald went on to say that it was about his drug use. I started using cocaine, heroin, alcohol at the age of 11. He told Oprah Winfrey, I used these drugs to hide my own pain, to hide my own fear. The drugs allowed me and afforded me the opportunity to hurt my sister. This is what Gerald said. I started using, he said, I said he had the shame he felt at having been sexually abused himself. He took it out on his sister. Now, this is true in mental health. As I put this is the article that I'm getting this information from. It's true in mental health. This is from People magazine. Monique's brother apologizes for sexual abusing his sister. It is true that most abusers are also people that were abusers themselves. They are people that were abused themselves by someone else. Could be someone in the family, someone outside of the family, and they can potentially turn into abusers themselves. I just wanted to show y'all that. These are the possibilities of what's going on here when we think about her brother. And I'm not saying it makes it right. It don't make it right what he did to her. I'm not making excuses for him, but oftentimes people who engage in this type of inappropriate behavior, they have been abused sexually themselves. And a lot of women have been abused. When women are abused sexually or molested, it is 9 out of 10 times more likely to be someone in their own family that did this to them. In the case of Monique, it was her brother, Gerald. He said he hid the shame he felt at having been sexually abused himself. He took it out on his sister, who is now 42. At that time, Monique was 42. And when he went on the Oprah show, she asked him, Gerald, are you just doing this because your sister won the Oscar and you're trying to get attention to yourself? Are you clout chasing here? I want you to hear the video right now. I think this is very, very important. I want y'all to hear this right now.
Tell the truth.
Monday's Oprah show, Monique's older brother Gerald comes clean about sexually abusing his sister.
Why do you want to be here today, Gerald?
I'm here today to first acknowledge what I've been in denial for 37 years. And that is, I did assault and inappropriately touch my sister in manners that were not comfortable for her. And for that, I apologize, and I'm humbly sorry.
2 years ago, Monique revealed she had been molested by her brother and used that pain to give her Oscar-winning performance in Precious.
Some may think that you're only doing this to get into the good graces of your sister now because she has an Academy Award.
Now, I'm doing this to apologize to my sister, to hopefully bring back some family unity.
As for their relationship now, Monique recently told Barbara Walters there is none.
Did your brother ever apologize to you?
The apology that I got from my brother is, if you think I did something wrong, then I'm sorry.
They were my exact words to my sister. Well, there's no more if you think I did it. You were absolutely right with what you said. I did it. I'm not proud of it. Monique, I'm sorry.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
So there it is, everybody. If you are getting something from this stream, definitely put a 1 up in the chat room. Let me know in this pre-produced video that you're getting some value out of this video, some information. I'm sure, people are talking about this already out here on these YouTube streets. It is obvious that that's where the real pain is. The pain that she has towards Hollywood and those around her in Hollywood that she feel are not treating her well. Even the way she lashed out at D.L. Hughley, that's not her real problems. This man is not her real problem. Even with maybe what he said is her problem. Her real problem is what happened to her as a child, being molested for over, since the age of 7. According to her brother, he did this to her for 7 years, when she was 7 years old. Can you imagine the psychological impact that has on anyone being molested since they were 7 years old? And that can, especially when a woman is molested or mistreated by a man, a brother, a family member, that can have lasting effects into adulthood, which can cause you to have dysfunctional relationships with people around you, people that you love, such as she is in a bad situation with her son. And then we also are hearing from the sister, Millicent, that she did not attend, allegedly, the father and her mother's wedding. Now, maybe, just maybe, she told them when she was a kid what her brother was doing, and maybe they were in denial and didn't do anything. And maybe Monique, allegedly, this is just my opinion interjecting here, maybe Monique has never forgiven her parents for not protecting her from her brother, if they knew about this. D.L. Hughley said himself, when she brought up the sexual trauma of his daughter, that it was a situation in which the daughter had a 13-year-old friend that she knew, and I guess he had touched her. And I know people are saying that no, it wasn't a 13-year-old. It really was an adult, that someone that he knew. That everything is alleged here. We don't know all the details. We're not in his household. But DL did admit that he feels some kind of way about not addressing that issue about his daughter very well, and that can have lasting effects on her as she goes through life. It has an effect on him as a father, and that does not change the fact that Monique is impacted as well. Black people in general, we are in trauma in America by default of living in America and what our history has been in this country. So I'm not going to sit up here and minimize the things that Monique has gone through, which I believe plays into why she has what it appears to us to be lashing out at everybody. There's always a genesis, a beginning, and an ending to how this starts. The problem with Monique, in my professional opinion, is that she has not gotten proper closure on the pain that is internally inside of her as to what happened to her with her brother molesting her. And when she sees that she's being mistreated in Hollywood, it goes back to the saying that I'm not that little girl anymore. I'm not that little boy anymore that you can just take advantage of. She allowed herself. She didn't allow herself. She was taken advantage of by her brother. She had a previous bad relationship before she married Sydney, which I believe that her being molested as a child growing up by her own brother plays into how she will relate to other men and other people. Which plays into how she lashes out towards her peers in the entertainment business for what they didn't give her, how much money she didn't get in a contract. But the anger is always still laying dormant there and still there, because I believe Monique has never really recovered from what happened to her as a child. And we need to take mental health more serious within the Black community and within society today. And that's just a fact. This is the Information Man Show. Let me bring this up too. There are some people that are saying, why is it that Monique has not been critical of other people? She has not gone at Corey Holcomb, who's definitely called her out. But then again, someone said on my panel a week ago that she might be taking on one battle at a time. Maybe she'll come for for Corey Holcomb. Sorry about that. Maybe she's going to come for him. Who knows? But then there are souls that have been critical of Monique in her lack of response to one Rosie O'Donnell.
Tell the truth.
Rosie O'Donnell has said some racist things and has done comedic skits, and it says some things that are racially charging as it relates to Black people, that one should say, hey, you should call her out. Now, maybe she has a good relationship with Rosie O'Donnell. I never liked her show. But it is a good point that she has never called this woman out, a white woman, in comparison to calling out someone like Oprah, who she gave an interview to and could have never told Oprah her business if she didn't want to, like that. Of course, her brother went on there, and I think that plays into it. The man who molested her brother as a child, is now on a national program telling all of her business that maybe she never wanted out in the first place. But then she's not willing to call out Rosie O'Donnell because she has a relationship with Rosie O'Donnell. Why not, Monique? It's just a fair question. But I think the reason why this happens is that black people in general in America, we know that if we talk about one another, clown one another, smoke one another, as we call it on the YouTube streets, I'm going to roast you, I'm going to cook you, all these choice words that we use for each other. As I go in here on these YouTube streets, and y'all know this, on the YouTube streets, we like to say, I'm going to roast this person, I'm going to cook them, I'm going to throw them under the bus, I'm going to show them I got more strength of gab than they do. The problem with that is that we're doing it to each other because we do not fear consequences when it comes to each other. We know if we talk about each other, we talk about other black people in entertainment or sports or black people in general, we know that there's not a punishment socially for that. Now, of course, if you're up in that person's face, maybe they can strike back at you. However, we know that overall in society, there is no punishment for what we say to each other. But maybe when it comes to white people, because white people in this country we call America are inherently and have been, due to a lot of historical circumstances of robbery and stealing resources and doing everything they can to marginalize and underestimate the value of black Americans in this country and our contributions. We know that if we go after white people, particularly certain groups in this country that are white, that we will be held accountable for what we say about them. There are certain groups, protective groups in America who are white, and if you talk about them, they can have you off air. Black people certainly don't control mass media, don't control entertainment. There's other people who control entertainment, and they can cut you off from that, and Rosie O'Donnell is a part of that group. So therefore, Monique knows by default that Rosie O'Donnell not only would have the power to talk back to her, but she would have the power to maybe hurt her within entertainment because black people do not control the purse strings of it. This is just my observation. You could have your own opinions how you see this. I hope you all understand what I'm saying. And I appreciate you all. Let me also go into this area right here. Let me go right over here and go right over here as I get ready to conclude my pre-produced video today. I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to say it for the cheap seats at the ball game. At the end of the day, her husband is the manager, as I said a week ago. He's the manager. It's his responsibility to make things easy for his wife. It is his responsibility to make sure contracts are written correctly if they're saying that they're looking for it to be in her favor. It is his responsibility to deal with all the nonsense so that Monique can focus on the entertainment portion of her business, while he is supposed to deal with the business of show business. And that's just a fact.
Tell the truth.
However, I believe that Monique she will never truly be settled in her spirit, in her heart, until she gets the help that she needs to deal with the trauma that she has experienced growing up, because it was wrong what her brother did. And I think the sister, whether she's clout chasing or not, I think the sister's statements, whether they come out of love or not, I have to admit that the sister statements did have some merit. The one area that really caught my attention is about the fake family and to talk about a wife. And if Monique is LGBTQ, that's her business. But there are a lot of people who do live false lives and don't live their real 100% authentic life. And when you do that, you're never really going to be happy with yourself. So that's an interesting point of view that her sister brought up. I think that her battle with DL has just been window dressing. DL is not the real problem. Her problem is the other things that she has not probably got enough help for. See, when you do not get enough help for your mental health problems and your traumas in life, then all the other things on the outside are just what they are, the window dressing that has not been addressed. So the lashing out at DL and talking about his family and the trauma of his daughter, sexual abuse or sexual trauma from someone, Monique is really crying out about her sexual abuse when she talks about D.L. Hughley's daughter. Indirectly, she's doing it. It's a cry out. When people are crying out for help, they lash out, they scream, they accuse people, so on and so forth, instead of looking at herself. This is where I have to agree with the assessment of her sister, 110%. Now, what her sister's motives are that you see in the middle, we'll probably never know, and maybe it'll come out in the wash what those real motives are. But I want you to give an honest opinion, ladies and gentlemen, what you think about this particular pre-produced video, this premiere. I once again want to say thank you. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, share this video, and thank you all for subscribing. If you are new to this channel, you are welcome here. And look, I'm looking forward to the following week where I can have a Father's Day show to talk about what it is to be a father. So with that said, everybody, thank you again. It is obvious that Monique has bigger problems than DL and bigger problems than what we really know. And I hope that she can find a way to solve those issues. We'll see how this happens. We'll see how this continues to grow because it's been a back and forth between them. But at the end of the day, I would wish and hope that two black people can find a way to stop lashing out at each other. So with that said, everybody, take care of yourself. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe to the program.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
And if any of you want to leave me like a super chat on the channel now, it has the part where it says thanks with a little heart. You can click into that and send me a donation even when the video is not live, or even when after you watch the replay, if you like. You'll see that little symbol, the $ symbol with the heart around it, if you would like to give a donation to the show. With that said, everyone, take care again. Peace.
Tell the truth.
Peace, everybody.
Information is power. Information is power.
Rebel soul child got a fist balled, I'm a respawn.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
They are not him, tell him fest
BS3 Network. Changing the way you listen to BS3 Network is now on Roku TV under BS3 TV. BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch
You
TV.
better keeping it quiet. My pen is ignited, my soul is enlightened. I like who I am, but I'm biased. Their palette is right, and my drip is a fountain. I'm not like these regular guys. All of that talk is misguided. She like the way I make the tape print, but the way I make the words play is grim. I'm the reaper reaching for the kill switch. The label cut the check like the bladesmith. Something sparking where his brain is. The beat is somewhere where their prayers sent. Geronimo, the way I make the bass jump when no parachute is tasteless. They likely to run their mouth, but when they see you face to face, they quick with the shape shift. Up through the night, work the grave shift. Batted from the cradle to the grave. Big mad how they face tense. Look both ways for you catch fade. I'm a nice guy on the inside, still I'm not somebody to be played with. Keep it all the way it's thousand. I don't remember how the ground feels.
Tell the truth.
I left the city, I've been browsing. Treading water that they drowning. I head on
Tell the truth.
Yeah. It's only really my surroundings. They keep it all the way a thousand. I don't remember how the ground feels. I left the city, I've been browsing.
Tell the truth.
Water that they drowning. I head on the swivel. Yeah. It's only really my surroundings. Can't stop, won't stop. Till I tour the world when the glow track. Better keep it dope at the stove top. Type of thing I hide in the tube sock. I just skip town on the new
Tell the
block.
truth.
But I'm still around if you just not. Better hold it down when the group drop where I kick
Tell
down
the
for
truth.
crowd, a balloon pop. Bet they come around for my moolah. Better run them out of town for they hoopla. Queen, she a hunt like Mulan. Everything the hoes what they were, but they just not. They be right up in your face with the fake stop. They be thinking it's a game, but it's just not. They be thinking we the same, but they subpar. Leave them drug through the mud when the flood stop, pull up. Hey, I feel amazing. Pyramid scheme, how I play the angle. I send it to your girl, but I make a facelift. This is your brain on the rich. I be hella wild, but you can't tame me. Got the keys to the cradle with no cable. Smell it like basil. Yeah, I got the flavor. I ain't got no patience. Kept it with a savor. I be on their nerve, but I feel painful. Make it sour when I serve, had a dish tasted. Show a conversation. Give them waves till they make shit the flotation. It's outrageous. Righteous with the sound, but a finger razor to the whole nation. Yelling out 12.
Tell the truth.
In the cell, but I make bail for the young and rebellious generation. Keep it all the way a thousand. I don't remember how the ground feels. I left the city, I've been browsing. Treading water that they drowning.
Tell the truth.
Keep it all the way 1,000. I don't even know how to ground this. I left the city, I've been browsing. Treading water that they drowning. My head on a swivel, yeah. It's only really my surroundings.
Tell the truth.
Information is power. Information is power.
Tell the truth.